What's up, everybody? Bet you thought you'd seen the last of me. I'm here. I have a hell of a list that is not probably going to make any sense because I've been sitting on it for like over 2 weeks now. I just haven't really had the time or the capacity to film, but I was like, you know what? The moon's in Gemini today. Fuck it, we're making a video. Like I said, I don't think what I have to talk about is going to make much sense at all. It's going to be the typical standard schizophrenic psychobabble that you are all accustomed to and love so much. But a little housekeeping first. I am doing another video with Sonia from the Tree of Knowledge on Friday. I don't know if it'll go live immediately on Friday or a couple days later, but I love Sonia so much and I'm so excited to talk to her. Sonia's from the sort of like alternative history Tartaria community. I don't even really know what to talk about, but I'm so grateful that she is willing to talk to me for I think like the third time now. Everyone else in that community just literally completely ignores me because I think I'm so racist and I'm such an awful person and so racist just because, well, you all know why. But I'm so grateful that Sonia can tolerate talking to me, and I'm really looking forward to talking with her. So, oh my gosh, as usual, I don't really know where to start with what my conversation is today. It's all over the place. There's astrology follow up, there's just like stuff all over the place. I've had a lot of like perspective shifts, just like little tweaks that are steering me in a little bit different direction, but they have been very mind opening, and I am excited to talk about them and try to get them off my chest because, again, I don't think they're going to make much sense. But the overarching one that has got me shook is instead of looking at everything as good versus evil, I'm switching that dichotomy into beauty versus ruin. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get all into that, honey. And this is something I've been dabbling with for a long time. You guys know I'm obsessed with Heidelberg, the castle at Heidelberg, the ruins at Heidelberg, a pilgrimage for many a romanticist. And I'm going to go back to its Wikipedia page, hopefully, if I have time, so that we can discuss again this whole concept of beauty versus ruin because it is a perspective shift. And that is, I think, what's going to be happening a lot throughout this year as we have Pluto move into Aquarius briefly, as we have Saturn move into Pisces. By May, end of May, this world is going to look like it's like upside down. And I have some unpopular opinions that I want to share that are just sort of my perspective as I see more and more about life. My personal life is super, super busy. I've been working like a dog, and I'm actually going to be working even more now because I got accepted into an apprenticeship with. Now y'all gonna laugh. Don't come for me. But an apprenticeship with a Norse pagan shaman. I know. Roll your eyes, roll your eyes. But I don't know. I'm really interested about the information and what he has to offer. So I'm going to be doing that on top of working. I'm going to be working like 90 hours a week, even more than that. So I hope to be able to come on here and make videos still. But if you don't hear from me for a while, that is why. So anyways, I think I'm just going to start going off the list. Again, these are in no particular order, and they're going to go all over the place. Let's see here. Where should we start? Okay, we're just gonna, like I said, just go for it. So, again, working at the gas station, this was the 22nd of December. We get our truck shipment of just stock and merchandise and food and cigarettes and all that stuff. And in one of the bins of the stock, I had talked about this in my stream with Sacha last week, but on December 22nd, we were getting all of the Easter candy stock. And y'all know my feelings towards Christmas and the holidays have been shaky at best, but this was really sort of the final nail in the coffin as far as this wheel of consumption. I'm realizing that I look at holidays like Christmas and such is very much the same way as I look at the American flag. We love America so much and we love what America used to stand for, but the flag is just like a memory now, and that's how I kind of feel about like this past Christmas that happened and the ones that will continue to happen. Is it just seems like it's not really I don't use the word modern, but it doesn't really have much to do with our current time and space, other than just like the hyper consumption. It just doesn't, it's not very fulfilling. I don't know why I'm doing it. I feel like, I don't know. And again, seeing Easter candy on December 22nd was, again, the final nails in the coffin. I have divested from this. I'm all into celebration. I'm all into holy days of remembrance and, solidarity and all of that. But I think they need a little bit more than some tweaking, because what we're doing now, I don't think is spiritual or sacred in any capacity. So, let's skip for the astrology for a little bit later. Here's a random one. So this was like a week or two before Christmas, and on my YouTube recommendations, I had got this guy had come up, and it was like how I got off of heroin or something, and I'm like, I don't know why this is being recommended to me, but the guy in the picture, this channel's name was like Joey the Gypsy or something, and I was like, I feel like I've seen this guy before. He had longer hair, so I'm like, maybe I'm just like projecting myself on him. I don't know, but I'm like, I feel like I know this guy. It was the strangest thing. And I remember, Amy Gross, if you're watching this, I had even like messaged her, and I'm like, yo, is he one of us? Like, he seems like he's one of us. I didn't even have like the vocabulary to describe it. I was just like, ding ding ding, there's something with this guy. I don't really know. And I remember commenting on his video, being like, oh, I love you so much, or something like that. And at the time, I think he had like 100 subscribers or something, no comments. And I was like, oh, I felt so special. Like, oh, like commenting in like an empty and open comment section. And no shade there. I actually appreciate that so much, because I feel like it's more real. But then like 2 days ago, I should actually check right now, but I'm not going to. I went back to his channel, because something happened that made me think about it, and the guy has like almost 20,000 subscribers in like 2 weeks, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I know I'm like N-word blacklisted on this YouTube site. There is no hope for this channel to grow, but I'm not really looking to grow it. This is just, as I've said many times before, this is just my verbal mental diarrhea that I just need to get stuff off my chest. By the time I finish this video, I don't even remember what I'm talking about. So it was just very cathartic for me. But I was just like shocked. And he talks about like him being this Joey guy. He talks about him being homeless and getting off drugs and stuff like that. And I don't know why the content resonated with me so much, because I've never had an issue with like anything like that, gratefully, but to see his channel like blow up like that, I was just like, huh, that's pretty cool. Okay, this is again all over the place, but words that we need to get rid of in 2023. I'm so sick of hearing the word parasocial. Oh, all my parasocial relationships. And I have a parasocial relationship with this person. I hate that word. I hate what it stands for. I hate it so much. We need to get rid of the word parasocial. Equal to that is this word. It's called co-creation. People are like, I want to co-create with you. We're going to do this together. We're going to co-create. And they don't realize how, like Alan Watts talks about this, about how like our language has so many ghosts in it, like words that they don't stand for anything, they don't mean anything, they're just sort of there. An example being the lightning flashed. Well, surely the flash and the lightning are the same thing, right? Like literally the same thing, but we separate that into two different things, and it creates these ghosts in our language. And the idea that co-creation, okay, creation from its very like definition automatically implies two. It automatically implies two energies coming together and generating something. So co-creation, it's just stupid. It's foul language. These people are so fucking retarded, and I'm so goddamn sick of people, especially in these new age communities, putting words like this together to sound so like spiritually superior. Co-creation. We co-created this. I'm like, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? It's so annoying, and it's so like low bar. Can't even get into it. People I'm getting rid of in 2023 are people who only hit you up when they are fucked up or extremely lonely or they need something from you. Like, bye-bye, I don't need that. Also, people who only love you when someone else is loving you. They give you no attention whatsoever, but the moment they see someone else giving you just a little bit of attention, all of a sudden they're all over for you. Auf Wiedersehen to you too. Das Vidania. Here's a good one. Where's Camille Paglia? Has anyone seen Camille Paglia? Donde está Camille Paglia? This is going to blow your minds, but the interview that she did with Jordan Peterstein, Dr. Jordan Peterstein, which was actually a fantastic interview, everything about him aside, that those two minds coming together was a really, really good talk, in my humble opinion. But that came out in 2016, you guys. That's like 7, 8 years old now. Doesn't that make you feel like fucked that Jordan Peterstein Camille Paglia interview came out almost 8 years ago? Like, what the fuck? But Camille Paglia hasn't come out with anything like at all. There hasn't been a peep for her in almost 5 years, and I'm like, in my head, I hope she's okay. I hope that nothing happened to her. I am also like begging for her to come back on the scene, for her to just shred these people to filth. But I have. Does anyone else see her anywhere? I miss her so much, and I hope she's okay. My only comment on the Andrew Tate thing, never followed him, don't know anything about him. The only things that I've ever seen about him would be these sort of like short little clips that would happen, where I would see, I have no idea like what he's talking about or anything like that, but just like visually, I'm so over the nouveau riche. I'm so over these people. They have like the cigar, and they have like the Versace robe, and they have these cars, and they have this like house that's all about like geometric shapes, and it's like glass, and everything's just like very sleek and hollow. These people have no taste at all. Andrew, no taste, Tate, okay? Again, don't know anything about him. I wish him the best, but I'm so sick of these people with wealth that have no aesthetic value at all. They have no idea what they're doing. They contribute nothing. They don't generate anything. It's very much like the Kardashians or any of these people that like the aristocracy of like days gone by. At least they had fucking taste. Okay, the quote unquote rich people we have these days have no taste. And again, the way they display their wealth. It's so. I think the word is gauche. It's so fucking gauche. Again, this nouveau riche. These people are very new money, and it's so cringe. It's so cringe. Again, like the robe and like the fucking cigars and stuff. I'm like, give me a break. Like, dude, it's so bad. Like, so bad. And then you see their houses and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want any of his lifestyle at all. And these are the people that are trying to like hoodwink people. It's so funny to me. But yeah, I just miss the old aristocracy. I miss the old racist aristocracy that had just a piece of mind and a little bit of taste, that gave back. Like, who knows if we built these, like, the Carnegie Library or anything like that, like, Tartaria aside, like, at least these people knew what beauty was, okay? Again, beauty versus ruin. Andrew Tate equals ruin, okay? There's no beauty there at all. It's actually really embarrassing. Another thing that's really embarrassing is this Gen Z style that first started in the women, but now has overlaid itself onto quote unquote men. Any of you who have like like Gen Z people in your life, it's this very like plush, comfortable way of dressing. It's like these sweatshirts that look like they're like teddy bear material. It's very plush, very supple. Everything is about comfort. All these types of clothes that are very white, very beige, ivory, clothes that would easily get dirty if you actually lived a life outside of extreme comfort and, indulgence, outside of just sitting on your phone in your bed and scrolling. And I'm seeing like more and more men of that generation wearing that stuff. Again, this like plush, comfortable clothes. It's so embarrassing. It's so effeminate. We need to leave that in another generation, but I have a feeling it's not going anywhere. Other words we need to get rid of. You all know that I'm not a fan of computer language and using computer language to describe our reality. Number one word is not indigenous. Simulation. Simulation's that number. I hate when people are like, we're in a simulation, we're in a matrix. These people need to go to church, okay? Secondly, like I said it already, but indigenous, I'm so fucking sick of the word indigenous. Oh, this person's indigenous, or, I'm an indigenous advisor in Western Australia, or I hate the word indigenous. Go fuck yourself if you use the word indigenous. Same with the words doctor and or expert. If you call yourself a doctor, you're probably not doing very good things. If you call yourself an expert, you're probably not doing good things. People are like, oh no, Mr. Theron, like I know a doctor on BitChute, and he's talking about, the vaccine and stuff like that, and I'm just like, honey, if you use the word doctor to describe yourself, you are not, you don't get it. You do not get it. I'm sorry. hate to break it to you, but you do not get it. You do not understand the body. You do not understand what is going on there. Again, love you so much. And you can cast my arm when I inadvertently rip it off from excessive masturbation. But no, no more doctors, no more experts. Sick of the word disclosure. I'm so tired of the word disclosure. We're all waiting for this disclosure, all these secrets to be revealed. Hate the word disclosure. Interestingly enough, my best friend got married to one of the guys from the music group Disclosure. But that aside, these last two are predictable, but hate the word equality, hate the word equity. Equality is a very, very dirty word. I think we should get rid of it entirely. There's no such thing as equality. There will never be anything called equality. And I'm all for hierarchy. No matter how many times we try to overlay all these different sociological conditions onto it, hierarchy will always reign supreme. We're all about hierarchy. We're all about the best and the worst, the beauty and the ruin. Speaking of the beauty and the ruin, these blacks that'll come into the gas station and like they just the way they present the way they dress, again, it's very similar to like basketball culture, which I hate so much. And it's like the pants like literally almost down to the knees. You see whatever like gross like shit stained underwear they have on. They're wearing like a wife beater, and they just like their hair and just like, oh shit, man, I hate that style so much. But it's first of all, as someone who like volunteers in my town, I take care of the flower beds. I put up Christmas decorations. I'm invested in making sure I clean up litter all over the fucking like streets. Because I want to live in a clean, healthy town. Okay, a clean town is a white town, is a healthy town, is a successful town. Okay, but you don't have people who dress like that. Okay, people who have like their pants down to there or whatever. They aren't going to be taking care of flower beds. Okay. They will never be taking care of flower beds. They will never be making beautiful landscapes. Okay, it's a perception of aesthetic. I don't want to hear about DeAndre. Oh, DeAndre can plant flowers and no. You do not get it. It's a perspective. Okay, you do not present yourself like that and then go and plant flowers. It does not happen. It will not happen. So as more and more of these colored savages come out of the cities and then move into our little farm towns, okay, they contribute nothing. They are leeches. They will do nothing for your town, okay? They just destroy. They don't generate anything. They just take. There was this family that came in, beautiful white mom, a white son, and then some black guy that I don't know if they're fostering or maybe they adopted. I'm not really sure, but this black guy had no. Granted, you see this in all families. No one really is grateful or anything like that. But you could tell that this black guy did not give a fuck. This white woman was like, just like doting on him and like, oh, do you need anything else, honey? And blah blah blah. And this guy did not give a shit. Okay. But it's funny because blacks are realizing, I think, that importing more diversity isn't exactly a good thing for their little crime schemes of like breaking and looting everything. Because you have like these like Arab business owners and these Somali business owners now. I use that in quotation marks, but you know what I mean. Who like aren't nice like most white people are. So when you're you're going through their store and looting, they just shoot you dead. They don't fuck around. And they have the privilege of not being white, so it's not like a hate crime when they shoot the black guy who's looting from their store. So I think that's really interesting. That I think that if blacks are starting to be like, you know what? I don't know about all of these, Arabs and Costa Ricans and Somalis. They don't just let us take their stuff, So I think that's really interesting to watch, that, these people aren't nice like white people and just, I don't know. It's very, very interesting. I've talked about this before, again, on Sasha's channel, but a lot of people on food stamps. A lot of people on food stamps with really nice shoes, really nice phones, really nice cars, and that blows my mind that you can buy alcohol on food stamps, have it multiple times a day, that you can buy, Fireball, tequila, whatever you want, and you can pay for it on food stamps. It blows my mind. This is going to be an unpopular opinion. I think all of you are probably going to hate this, but I'm still sort of grappling with this, and I don't exactly know exactly where I stand on this, but I think it's becoming more and more clear to me. Don't be a pothead. Don't be a pothead. It's not cool. Okay, maybe it was cool 20 years ago. but it's not cool anymore. It's much like tattoos. Tattoos are not cool, okay? Being a pothead is not cool. I'm not saying you're on vacation, you know, you're off doing whatever, and you want to get high the whole time, by all means. You work a whatever hour week, you have a day off, and you just want to fucking chill, whatever. But this whole pothead mentality, everyone walking around fucking stoned, they contribute nothing. They just leeches. They're not a threat to, by the way. If you are a pothead, you are not a threat to anybody. You know, it's just life, man. You know, can't we just all get along? And even if you don't have that mentality, you're in a sort of a mindset when you're, you know, fucking stoned, that you're not going to do anything. You're not going to fight anybody. You're just going to go home, you know, get really comfortable, watch some TV, Netflix, YouTube, eat something. You're not a threat to anyone, you know? And it's just, I don't know, I'm finding the whole, like, weed culture, it's just kind of retrograde now. I don't know. Again, I don't have my official opinion on this. And of course, I'm not like abstaining from weed or anything like that. Like I said, when you're on vacation or something like that and you want to light up, go for it. But the idea of like being a pothead and having that as part of your personality and just like always fucking high, it's not cool. Okay, tattoos are not cool, especially on women. If you're a woman getting all these tattoos, it's so cringe. It's so beneath you. Okay, it's not cool. It's really not cool. And again, it's my opinion. You're perfectly able to have your opinion. It's not going to offend me in any way. But being a pothead, in my opinion, is not cool anymore. Where else should we go? Oh, I kind of, I kind of want to go back to like 1950s sex roles. I've bitched about this so many times, but it's especially one of my life goals, and I'm going to manifest it. I'm putting it out there. I'm making it happening. I am making a men's only gymnasium. Okay, it's going to be epic. It's going to be grand. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be awesome. But a men's only gymnasium. There's something that happens when men and are just men are together, especially in like a physical environment or like a landscape environment or construction. There's just like this energy where like it's not even, it's all nonverbal. It's this sort of electromagnetic psychosexual energy that just sort of like feeds each other and yourself without even trying. You feel like powerful, you feel invincible. But the moment a little fucking like 50, 45-year-old woman comes in there with their fucking LuLaRoe, like fuck, they come in there, they smell like fucking fish, women's deodorant, and they come in there, the whole thing shatters. I literally find women's presence in those situations like immoral. I genuinely find it immoral. I feel like they are disturbing something, and in the psychosexual electromagnetosphere, that is very wrong. Wrong on the same level as transgenderism. Wrong on the same level as just like degenerate sexual behavior. I feel like women's presence in those situations is morally wrong. Okay, they should not be there. As someone who works out very early in the morning, because that's when like working class people work out, that's when people who have kids and have lives, that's the only time that they are able to work out. You get people who are like serious and they know what they're doing, okay? And by the time the gym hits like 5:30, 6 o'clock, these little women start trancing in and the whole thing shatters. I see it. I've been seeing it for years now, and that's why it's my, like, again, dream to just carve out a men's only space where you're not disturbed and like you're not your focus isn't taken away by just their presence, you know. And it's like nothing against them, you know, you're all beautiful, we love you so much, but it's just, in my opinion, it is immoral for women to be in those situations. It's wrong. And I think, again, behavioral psychology, it's so subconscious, and this has been happening for so many decades now that we don't even realize it. But again, in my opinion, it is sexually and morally wrong for women to be in those situations. God damn it. Especially in the gym, I find it very, very, very inappropriate. I guess we'll sort of like compound on that. I saw something from Cernovich, Michael Cernovich, love him so much. And he was saying something about how like 90% of his morning walks, he's like perplexed in this mindset that he just does not understand. Okay, he's just confuzzled why all of like the good media, books, movies, literature, all come from leftists. Okay, he just doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. That's we talked about this many times on this channel, but when has people on the right ever promoted arts, music, high culture, anything like that. Okay, they do not do that. Any type, I think of dancing, right? Just dancing, ballroom dancing, anything like that. It's immediately seen as gay. Oh, gay. Singing, oh, choir, you're gay. You know what I mean? It's just gay energy. You know, they're so sexually unevolved and so sexually immature that they don't even know what they're talking about. But they don't even get to the point of any type of creative potential because it's just brushed off as, oh, it's gay. It's gay. I don't want to do it. It's just gay. It makes me, there's some sort of like electrostatic, sort of electromagnetic sort of tingle that sort of happens because you're getting close to another body and, oh, it's gay. It's gay. It's gay. And they just put it down. They just put it down because they're so sexually fucked up that they cannot even go there. And you're not going to create any good art, any meaningful art, anything of substance like that until you can get past that and realize that it's just a bunch of horse shit. You know what I mean? Say what you want about drag queens or anything like that. And again, drag queens is different than the transgender agenda, okay? Yes, a lot of drag queens are all for the whole transgender thing, but drag queens and that culture is not the same as the whole transgender cult, okay? And I can tell you what, drag queens are a hell of a lot more powerful as whatever the hell they are in their power and their presence than probably like 90% of the men that I see on a daily basis. They are weak, they're effete. Again, they're alcoholics, potheads, they're drug addicts. They're totally checked out from society. They don't take care of themselves. They have no sense of hygiene. They have no power at all. But some of these drag queens are a hell of a lot individually more powerful than most of the men around here. So when we talk about who's like winning culture wars and stuff like that, it's because you are weak, you are useless, you have no sense of again, aesthetic. They have no aesthetic point of view because again, it's considered gay. You know, you care about like one good-looking guy telling another good-looking guy that he's attractive is a very, very powerful thing. But that never happens because it's, oh, gay, oh, no homo, you know, and you just, it's very similar to abortion in my opinion. You just like stop any sense of potential that was, you know, had the capacity there, and it's just gone out the window. So yeah, until conservative people wake up from that sexual slumber, wake up from again their total disregard for arts, class, music, stuff like that. I don't really see anyone other than leftists creating good media. Again, you see it in dance, you see it in a lot of different things. It's considered gay. You like beautiful, nice things, it's considered gay. Where else should we go? Where should we go? Not a fan of men and women in the workplace. I think it can work in similar situations, or not similar, some situations. I think it's fine. And there are a lot of working class women out there that get it, that they understand. They're hard workers. They have the right sort of mentality. They were raised primarily by their fathers, and they fucking get it. And I'm not talking about you when I say this, but men and women in the workplace is a disaster. Just in this simple gas station job alone, the amount of times on the daily where they play the woman card over and over and over again when it comes to doing any type of manual labor, any type of lifting, any type of like sort of sticky situation, any type of mechanical work, any type of just simple snow shoveling. Out comes the woman card, out comes the woman card. They get paid more than me, you know, they're more in the quote unquote hierarchy, they're higher than me, but when it comes to doing these very basic things, they have no interest in doing it, they feel entitled, they don't have to do it. I am so sick of men and women in the workplace that I'm so excited for, again, a return to these 1950s sort of sex roles. I think it's going to do a lot of good for a lot of things. Okay, let me just read this clip again from Heidelberg. Let me see if I can find a picture quick that I can have in the background as I read this so it's not so fucking boring. Okay, so Heidelberg, we all love Heidelberg so much. So I'm going to read, this is from the Wikipedia page, but there's 3 different parts. I've read, I think, 2 of them on here before, but again, I just want to emphasize the the shift in the perspective between beauty and ruin, and how it oscillates, and how profound that oscillation is. Okay, so I'm just going to read. Stay with me. Okay, ruins are the pinnacle of what we have called historical exoticism. As a jumping off point, a story from experience may serve. In 1945, shortly after the surrender of Germany, when asked by an American soldier who was eagerly picture-taking at the Heidelberg Castle how this place of pilgrimage for all romantics came to be a ruin, I replied mischievously, "It was destroyed by American bombs." The reaction of the soldiers was very instructive. I will speculate briefly. The shock to their consciousness, stemming from an aesthetic, not an ethical problem, was extraordinary. The ruin no longer appeared beautiful to them. On the contrary, they regretted, thus with realistic present consciousness, the recent destruction of a large building. Professor Ludwig Geitz goes further in his remarks about the ruins. The important culture and era points out that, contrary to widespread opinion, the Romantic era did not first admire the view for the beauty of the ruin. Rather, the follow inversion took place. The Renaissance, aka the first generation, admired the ancient torso, not because, but although it was a torso. One found beauty, but unfortunately only as ruin. The second generation inverted the ruin of the beautiful one for the beauty of the ruin, and from here to industrial production of ruins, the way was clear. Like garden gnomes, one sets ruins into the landscape in order for the landscape to become more beautiful. Professor Gunther Heinemann raises the question of whether one could restore Heidelberg Castle incompletely. He goes on, automatically one thinks, who would dedicate oneself to the devoted care of these enormous walls, were they to be constructed again? As to the expenditure, that does not make much difference, but how would it be arranged? It would require seeds of historical imaginings, as far as extant pictures of the sound condition of the castle that have been handed down permitted this. But it would take the unique phenomenon to Heidelberg that the castle in its ruinous condition has to register a considerable profit at aesthetic values. A rebuilt castle would equal a disenchantment. It would be a recertification of an inadequate displacement process of history opposite, and granted to participating nature no more clearance, which the understanding at realization clarity would win, would be lost to the mind at turn depth. Okay, I find that all just, again, I think I've read this before, but so fucking profound. Especially in the regards to, this ruined Heidelberg Castle, it's so beautiful. It sits up on the mountaintop. It's beautiful to look at it. It's beautiful in its ruined state. But if you were to rebuild it, okay, that rebuilding it would equal a disenchantment. It would sort of break that spell that the ruins beauty has on the overall picture, and that whatever you would replace it with and however you would reconstruct it, it would have to be higher in aesthetic value than what it already is now. And for that to happen, for someone to dedicate not just their life, but like their whole like lineage's life to that, it would require something that I don't think we find in our societies anymore. And I think until we start building again, and by building I don't mean these suburban sort of abortive, just 3D printed homes and buildings. Oh, look at, there's another farmland that's been sold. Oh, look at, they're putting up storage sheds. Oh, look at, they're putting up another concrete rectangle for whatever purpose. Until we move away from that, I don't think we are going to find any place of solace, in my opinion. Still going on and on about the conservative blind spot for technology. You see so many times online. Let me go to this. It's a picture. Things to consider for a homestead property. 1, soil quality. 2, water availability. 3, energy costs. And 4, defensive fighting positions. And you see pictures of like a water well. You see a picture of soil. And then you see pictures of huge black boxes. Again, black boxes are the enemy of these solar panels. It's so fucking ugly. And that's where it's like, people don't understand aesthetics, and how aesthetics our truth, and that's what rules your life. You can't put a whole bunch of black boxes out there so that you can power your Wi-Fi connection to have like a homestead life. Like, you're missing the fucking point. And I understand social media is so addictive, and it's so connection is a spiritual impulse. Okay, when you're connecting with something, that is a spiritual impulse. So when you're connecting with stuff online, anything like that, you're getting a whole bunch, like, you're setting off like a dark sense of spirituality that is very, very different from in real life connection. And fueling that, I just don't, again, this conservative blind spot for technology, it baffles me month after month after month. Like, Ramsey Paul, who I love so much, I was listening to his predictions video, and it was really, really good. And he was talking about, I think the only white pill like he really had was how Twitter is becoming, like, quote unquote, more free. And as someone who, like, has his business online and everything, that, like, I hope it continues to be more free. I hope more sites open up. I want that for him. I think he has a really good message. I think it's really great that he gets it out there. I think he really fucking gets a lot of things. But, like, the idea of, like, white culture's redemption being in the opening up of, like, the internet, I find very naive. I find it's just not going to go anywhere. Like, much to, like, tattoos, much like smoking pot, I think it would be almost like 10 times cooler if white people, like, got off of social media entirely. Again, connection is spiritual impulse. Like, what if we just said, fuck it? We don't want this anymore. And, like, the luxury of that, of, like, going, like, and connecting with people in real life, and, like, having that as, like, the bare minimum. If we got rid of all of this crap, like, that is, like, exuberance. That is fucking rich to me. But again, it's just a daydream, because, like, that's probably never going to happen. But it would be so cool if in 2023 and beyond we saw more and more people who fucking get it in this sphere of influence, like, talking about that, like, that, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Maybe putting all of our energy and attention into, freeing up social media isn't exactly where we should put, our focus. Again, I don't know if that's just me, but I'm gonna fight for it till the bitter end. Fuck it. It's just so boring. And in the end of the day, it's a dead end. It is a dead end. It's not gonna get us anywhere. Next, I want to talk a little bit more about The Wizard of Oz, which I love so much. And I want to couple it with something I came across about 2 weeks ago, which was another huge perspective shift for me. So again, going back to these powerless men and how drag queens have more power than them, and I mean, like, in their soul, one of the best things you can do for yourself right now, and for this community and for the world at large, is to take care of yourself and to fucking heal yourself. Get past these demons as best as you can, because you are no help to anyone. When you are a pothead, an alcoholic, a drug addict, you have all these other issues, all these relationship issues too, like, constantly addicted to these dark codependencies. Like, you have to fucking figure out a way to heal that shit and get past it, okay? Because you are no use to anyone. Say we all of us that fucking get it, like, get into, all happen to move to a location, and and we're finally all together, all of those issues don't just go away. I mean, maybe they do, but how useful are you? What impact, what influence do you have when you're still crippled by these addictions and these, like, awful relationship patterns? Like, we have to heal that shit. Like, if we're gonna get anywhere, we need to, like, get some fucking discipline and, like, put that in the fucking past. And one of these quotes that I found that really helped me, you see so much now. It started with, like, astrology and the sort of new age movement, but then it snowballed really quickly on social media into this, like, narcissistic sort of self-help spiritual bypassing. It's another word we can get rid of is trauma. Let's add that to the list. It's all about trauma. It's all about, and this is, like, with psychotherapy too, and, like, talk therapy. It's all about such and such traumatic experience happened to me in the past, and I have to figure out a way to heal it. It's the past until now, and I'm here now, and I'm aware of it, but how do I get rid of it? I'm suffering every day because I can't get past these traumas that happened to me, 10, 15. It's so embarrassing to me to like see these like quote unquote spiritual teachers online. They're like 50, 60 years old, and they're like still like talking about, like, I can't do that because you don't understand. Like, when you were mentally and emotionally abused at a young age, it's like, you're fucking 60 years old. Like, get over it. But this quote that really helped me, and again, it's similar to like the beauty versus ruin thing that like flipped my perspective. Literally does a 180. It's let me find it here. Okay. All of your current suffering stems from your future self not having forgiven itself yet. And read it again. All of your current suffering stems from your future self not having forgiven itself yet. Meaning that all of that past stuff has no meaning whatsoever. That your future self is hurting right now. The you from 10 minutes from now, the you a week from now, a you from a year from now, okay? That person is hurting right now and will continue to hurt until you forgive yourself. I found that so fucking profound. So fucking profound. It literally shook me, and I'm like, whoa. And it just, it makes you think, it makes you think, like, is it that deep? Could I just, like that, just move on, just forgive yourself and move on, instead of these long, melancholic, sort of wound nursing periods of like trauma and like rehashing the past, to be like, I'm only suffering it now because my future self hasn't forgiven me, hasn't forgiven itself yet. So if I can forgive myself in this moment, I'm setting my future self up moment for a hell of a lot more. Thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, again, feeling connected is a spiritual impulse. But going back to the Wizard of Oz and why the Wizard of Oz is so good. There's so many lessons in that. It's so good. Some of my favorite are the Scarecrow. Dorothy's like talking to him, and this is like at the end of the movie, and she whispers to him, and she's like, "I think I'm gonna miss you the most." I can almost like cry right now. God, I'm such a fucking faggot. Yeah, she whispers to him like, "I think I'm gonna miss you the most," in the sense that you will meet people in this lifetime that it's that it can hurt like a bitch. It can hurt like a bitch, and just having like regardless if it was an incredibly positive or negative experience, a beautiful experience or an incredibly ruinous experience, to be grateful for it, because I think I'm going to miss it the most. I don't know. I thought that was really interesting. But also the idea of like the slippers, like, what do you mean I had to just click my slippers, my ruby little slippers 3 times and then I could go home, Why did I have to go all the way around this big sort of journey, this long, arduous journey, just to figure out that all I had to do was click my heels 3 times? Because you wouldn't have believed it if I told you, I don't know. That's, again, the power of belief and stuff like that. It's crazy. I had to do all of that. They say, like, the longest journey of your life is about 1.5 feet from your head to your heart, and just like connecting those two. I don't know. I find that interesting. I find that really, really fucking cool. And it's not easy. It's not fucking easy. It really is. It's like 1.5 feet, and that, to get from here to here, you can go through all these different dead ends and spirals. You can bike across the fucking country like I did, and it's all 1.5 feet inside of you. It's insane. But anyways, is there anything else I want to talk to you about? Do I want to bore you with astrology? I don't really know. Again, Pluto moving into Aquarius, and just like the idea of living waters, the fountain of youth, and just water being our primary, not just energy source in terms of electricity, but energy source in terms of overall life and vigor. I really need to do like because I know a lot of you are not adept on the whole like Tartaria thing, which is totally fine. But I think when it comes to star forts, this really needs to be talked about. So this is a picture of Strasbourg in 1644, allegedly, and this is a star fort. As you can see by the river flowing through it and then the star geometric sacred geometry pattern around it, these people are utilizing water in combination with the atmosphere to create some sort of static electromagnetic power source. Every time the water bends around one of these corners of this star pattern, the water gains more and more energy. Remember, water can carry information. And this is something that they're still trying to figure out on how it all worked. Again, you have the cathode, the cathedral spire, the electromagnetic spire in the center of all of this, but star forts using water as technology and the movement of water as energy. And I don't just mean like building a dam, and no offense to beavers. I think beavers are so fucking cool. But this is very Aquarian. This is what I mean by living waters. It's this type of tech. Oh my god. If I hear nuclear fusion one more fucking time, I'm gonna blow my fucking brains out. Talk about being like a retrograde boomer. Oh my god, nuclear fusion. It's like, good god. It's in the water. It's water and static electricity that's gonna be our way out of here. But yeah, star forts, please look into them. Again, the idea of aesthetic as truth. Remember, Aquarius being, the Ganymede, that the image of Ganymede, he has like an urn or some sort of like vase, and it's pouring out what people think is water, but it's actually truth. Truth as aesthetic and beauty, and that the most beautiful way of doing things is the most truthful way of doing things. And that this whole way of gathering energy on a grand scale, using sacred geometry and the natural. They say silence is the language of God. Everything else is poor translation. But using math as math and geometry and numbers in this sort of sense and combining them with aesthetic, I think this is the way out. It's not nuclear fusion, okay? It's not fucking solar panels. God. What else do I have here? Oh, I saw this picture, and I think it's one of my favorite pictures now of all times. This picture says so much. For I don't even know if I want to like get into this, but it's so fucking precious, first of all. Second of all, what they're wearing, the fashion, the fur, the little fucking boots. Like, is this like Yeezy 2024? You know what I mean? Like, it's just the innocence of this picture. It's just like the time of year this picture takes place in, what they're doing, the wagon behind them, the oranges. Again, the just like the purity of the expression and how they're all bundled up. I think this is one of my favorite pictures of all times now. I thought this picture was pretty cool too. I was gonna put it as the thumbnail for this, but I saw that that milkshake meme, and I thought that was even funnier. But I thought this was pretty cool with the wolf. It says "Trust thyself." I don't know. I thought that was cool. I had this other video I wanted to show you, but I don't have time. It's this like woman who has a day after McDonald's binge, and I just wanted to show like 12 minutes of it because it's like one of the most disturbing things I've seen in a very long time. But maybe we'll save that for a different day. Anything else I want to talk about? No, I think I'm going to leave it there. But just be thankful we have miracles, okay? I know a lot of people, even conservative religious folk, don't really seem to believe in miracles anymore, but just be grateful that we're lucky enough to have miracles. Also, your thoughts and your words, they do matter. I know there are other people out there that seem to think it's all woo-woo nonsense, but if your thoughts and words do not matter, why are you praying? Who are you praying to? Why are you going to church if your thoughts and your prayers do not matter? Repetition is very important. Sound frequency is very important. And I'm not saying that you can flip the world upside down with, if we just have these happy thoughts, it doesn't work quite like that. But I just don't really like this idea of, the hollowness. This is what I'm talking about when Cernovich is like, I don't understand why leftists make all the good media. It's because the conservatives, they're so hollow. Like when it comes to talking about the soul and the supremacy of the soul and the invincibility of the soul and what we can achieve, what we can accomplish. It's very hollow on the right. It's this like religious dorkiness. It's like these khaki wearing, just like, again, religious dorkiness that I hope we can move away from to something much more pretty, much more aesthetically sound. Yeah. Hopefully this video doesn't come off as judgy. These, again, are just some opinions I've been having. You are all more than welcome to have your own opinions. I realize that I'm fucking crazy, and that's fine. I love you still. I hope you